everybody. How are you all doing? I hope very well. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you're joining in from. My name is Alek, and welcome to the podcast, The Future of Web. So why this podcast? So this is primarily a podcast I started about Web3 technologies. Here, the intention again is to educate people about what's happening in the industry, how are things going. And for that, instead of me talking about everything, we get founders, builders, investors, community managers, developers, designers, and whoever is doing something or the other in Web3 space to come and talk about how their product or service is impacting that space. So I haven't had some lawyers, on this podcast, but stay tuned. We're going to have some very exciting ones in the coming episodes. My name is Alek again, and I am the founder of a company called Animo Solution, which is a Web3 focused design and development agency. We do a lot of cool stuff in Metaverse, design, UI, UX, NFT, building on blockchain. All right. So coming back to our guest, so we have a very, very special guest today. He is a Greek Italian raised in Greece. He studied in UK. He worked in Switzerland and Italy and lived in Brussels. He's the founder and CEO of Netizens, that's pronounced as NTZNS. He's a best-selling author, futurist, speaker, and top brand storyteller. He has a very strong background in technology and marketing, and he's on the advisory board member at Metaverse Fashion Council and System 256. His book, Million Dollar Chest, became a bestseller in 2 weeks and was nominated for the fastest new entry in fiction stories on personal growth. In 2021, LinkedIn ranked him among the top 1% of marketing professionals. He is a member of the inner circle of Seth Godin's leadership, and this is Marketing Club, a member of Robin Sharma's Game Changing Players Club, and member of the Infinite Club. Fantastic. And I'm not done yet. He holds a master's in digital marketing, a master in leadership, a diploma in management of arts, culture, and communication, a bachelor in computer science, and over 21 certificates on futurist branding, management of fashion and luxury brands, marketing, leadership, personal development, communication, growth hacking, marketing, human psychology, human technology interaction, and human resources. Oof, I'm really short of words. But before, so I would say, without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Costantino. Hello, Costantino. How are you?
Hello, Alec. I'm fine. It took you a lot to do. I was hearing my, let's say, brief CV, and I said, oh my God, I am all of these things. Okay.
Yes, man.
Fantastic.
Yes. You have achieved a lot of things, so it all makes sense to talk about it. Why not? And I feel so honored and thankful that, I got in touch with Antonis and, he introduced me to you. And now that we are here, doing a podcast. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. The honor is mine to be here. Thank you to invite me.
Pleasure. All right. So we have a lot to talk. I will dive straight in. So what happens is, as a customer, it's kind of, we are on the 25th episode now. So it's kind of become customary that I always ask my guest something, which is a little less known about them, like a little secret which you can share openly. So can you share something which maybe
Uh,
not many people know about yet?
about me personally?
Yes, personally.
Okay. I wasn't prepared about that, but a secret. I don't have secrets around anything. I mean, I wrote everything or I said everything that I have in my mind as I coming. I don't have any secrets, but maybe, or I don't remember right now something that maybe is valuable to share and maybe help people understand how it is. Uh, I don't have something in my mind.
Okay,
So
so then let's see.
maybe, yeah, yeah,
No,
please.
I was just saying, maybe that, then if nothing comes across to your mind right now, maybe something that you really like doing, as a pleasure, maybe not technology per se, but something outside of
Yeah,
it.
okay. Um, let's say that okay, I will share something that makes me feel a little bit awkward. Actually, I'm always so deep in the future of
Mm-hmm.
thinking. I don't have hobbies. I mean, I'm not obsessed on something else on except the
Mm-hmm.
future. The future.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the things that I'm working on. My mind is always working 1,000 times. Even in the night, I'm jumping out and with ideas and many things that I like to write or to think. In that way, I am completely um, disconnected with social things. I mean, I'm not a social guy. I mean, I never go to social events. I never have time for anything. It's not that I am busy, but I'm bored. I don't like
Okay.
chit chat. Um,
Okay.
one secret is that I have a daughter and a son, and my family always says that I am so obsessed with my daughter, and maybe this is something that yeah. So I'm working so much with my kids to liberate them from industrial lifestyle and
Mm-hmm.
working to them to make them more netizens in terms of philosophy and in terms of practical things, because I see that the school and everything around is grab them to a circle, iron circle, and this is what I'm doing. I don't have anything else. This is what I do. I just whatever is on my CV is who I am really.
Wow, that's interesting. So like I said, you are the futurist, and you're at the right place. Then a podcast is called the future of web because that's where all the interactions happen. And yeah, and I'll agree with you. So as I also have a daughter, so I can totally understand how, any father's love for his daughter. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's know you a little bit about your journey. Like, so you started your career in pharma, then you went on to a digital marketing. You started a digital marketing company called Weird Authentic People. Interesting name, by the way. And then you moved on to fashion, and then you started again your own company called NTZNS. Short for Netizens. So can you just
Yeah.
expand a bit about your journey? Like you've taken, so how you started and how did you land at Netizens?
Okay. Okay. I didn't share with you any secret, but maybe with these questions, maybe we unveil some secrets. So I'm
Fantastic.
ready to say that it was um, it was really difficult to understand who I am
Mm-hmm.
actually in the very beginning of my journey on this planet, and
Mm-hmm.
um, and raising and I was growing. There wasn't so much information about the world because there wasn't the internet. The world wasn't so connected, but I was always fond of creating an alternative. I didn't like the
Mm-hmm.
world as I saw it because I was I was waiting for sleep every day, every night, let's say, and before I sleep, I play a different role and a different situation in my mind of who I am, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like a movie. And but I didn't know how to make this happen. I was afraid of everything. I was afraid um, to see who I am and go out there to make it happen. And I just follow the flow. What that means, I give you just an example. When you are a kid and they ask you what you want to go, what you would
Mm-hmm.
want to do with your life, not when you're
Mm-hmm.
young, when you are in the year before to go to the college, you need to decide.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the fact is that I didn't want anything of the
Oh.
university or to go to college. I didn't like anything. I didn't find myself in there,
Mm-hmm.
but I was afraid to say that. So I have to choose something, and then to satisfy anyone and not to come back to me to say, oh, why you don't need that, and to see me as someone that I have a problem. I would like so much to fit in and let it go, so I just said something.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was very lucky because in when I was ready to jump on a university, computers arrived, and
Mm-hmm.
and I was really thrive in computer science, and I loved it, and I find my let's say my family there, my tribe. But there wasn't any connection with the creativity yet. So all the river, all the society push you to do some things like IT stuff, corporate level, safety things. And as
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't so brave to make my revolution that time, I just follow this path until the day that I saw the Matrix, the movie.
Okay.
So and I just finished the university, the degree of computer science in bachelor, and I said, okay, what I was sowing that time, it was real for me. And then
Mm-hmm.
it put a seed in my mind, and I said, I would like to build this future. I would like to build a new reality that people can change and do whatever they want. And I never understand the restrictions, everything that in society had this. So I was working on that. I started studying everything. I started working on everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep my safety on a global pharma. And because of my curiosity, and I was good on my job. I was reaching a really good level, in the biggest level that I could reach in the headquarters of big pharma. And then I
Mm-hmm.
said, that's it. I don't have anything else to take. Then I jumped
Mm-hmm.
out, and I say, okay, this is the time that I can help people do things as a freelancer. I
Mm-hmm.
was already working in digital marketing. I was really good on understanding people and to study people. And
Mm-hmm.
that if you want to be a good marketeer or to do a good branding, you need to study people. You need to understand why behaviors, and you
Mm-hmm.
need to push behaviors and to see how you are like a wizard. I speak about true marketing, not advertising. Okay, so
Yeah.
and then I found myself to the next tribe, which fashion. I started
Mm.
working with fashion companies, and that makes me feel so valuable. And that is the most important, significant, let's say. Why? Because fashion is changing constantly.
Yes.
I mean, it's not something that you do and the next day you have to do the same. That is so boring, and I hate it all the time. And I'm someone that I'm boring all the time. So I need things to change, and I don't take time to celebrate things that happen because I want to go to the next one. So this is
Mm-hmm.
what I like to do, and I learned through the years that this is me, and I don't need
Be
to
somebody
find an
else.
excuse about that. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah.
and I was working on fashion, and then I working on Milan Fashion Week. I had
Mm-hmm.
some as a freelancer, some works with Ferrari and with some good brands in Italian brands, big luxury. And then it came the idea of weird, authentic people. And because you said that is an interesting name, I will tell you the story behind of weird, authentic people. It's just
Yeah.
in one phrase. It came from the book of Seth Godin. Seth Godin is my mentor, and for me, is the father of the modern marketing. And he was unveiled a book that called it "We Are All Weird," the end of the
Okay.
mass, and we are all weird. So weird, authentic people. It was about to build a digital branding agency that
Mm-hmm.
connects communities of weird people. So if you are weird, you have a position, a place on this earth. And then because of internet, you can connect each other, and that
Yeah.
makes you a huge tribe, and then makes you a huge mass. So it's not a mass adaptive, it's about how you connect weird people. And that was the first company that I introduced avatars. In
Okay. Yes.
2016, I
Wow.
created avatar personas to introduce my team people because I didn't want to work with employees. I want to work with teams because, if you go to a company that has specific needs, Another company has different needs. So
Mm-hmm.
this social media manager is fit to that company, but is not fit in that company. But I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't change my team all the time. So I created an avatar for personas. So I behind of every avatar that has a role, I had a team of people. But the customers, they see only an avatar that say, okay, this guy is working for me because I created a really good persona with a story. So the people like those avatar things. And then because of that, it came the idea of netizens. If you connect the dots that I already
Yes.
told you in the past, then I say, oh, this is a time that we can be the netizens. And that came because I had the opportunity to have a good friends in Asia. That for me,
Mm-hmm.
Asia is really in front of us. If you want to see the future, just go to Singapore, Korea, or Japan, and just study the young generations. If you study the
Mm-hmm.
young generation, how they live their day, forget the whole things that you know, the stereotypes of the countries or the cultures or everything. The people are living like avatars. They build avatars all the time. They do avatars their own lives. And one question that always do to me that why we need it, why we have to do it. The first answer, because there are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of answers, the first answer is because we can. And this is the
Mm.
most important thing because you have a daughter, I have a daughter. When your daughter plays on something and do something that for you has no value, no meaning behind, this is the answer. She can do it. And there is no always a purpose behind of that because it's just a task that connected, you will find the purpose.
Wow, interesting. So suddenly, our discussion is going from say being future of the web to a lot of philosophy. Like how you do things and how you think. And I love like these kind of discussions as well, right? And I think we'll end up spending a couple of hours just talking about philosophy and future and netizens and all those things, right? So, so I think so that opened a lot of your mind when you started creating avatars, and that's a very good concept, by the way. So the customers are interacting with this persona, and behind it can be A, B, C, D, or E. Like any person can be behind it. So that's a very, very novel concept.
Exactly.
And
This is the whole reality.
right, and that's exactly what to some extent people are. When you're online, you're always how do I say it, there's always a version of you which is there. It is never wholly you, like fully you. There's always a version. So when you are asking going for a job, there is a version of you which is trying to present the best person for the job. When you are doing an interview, there's a best person, like say right now I'm trying to be the best podcast host there is, right? There's a version of me, that's not wholly me. Fully me could be simply a lazy guy sitting on the couch and just reading a book, probably, right? All
Correct.
right, all right. So, but it's a interesting. So, and metaverse gives you a lot of those abilities. Like companies have started to create their own avatars, digital persons have started to create different versions of themselves, and then now there are companies coming out which will help you create those different versions in an automated form. So for you, say having already dealt with digital avatars, when did you see the move towards metaverse, right? Because metaverse gives you that ability and freedom. So when did you transition, and what all services does Netizens provide?
Okay. Um, we founded, let's say, Netizens in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and as an idea, and we
Mm-hmm.
start working on it as a project.
Mm-hmm.
The word netizens by itself, it means the citizens of internet. So what I had in my mind, and this is what is my base, let's say, my foundation on what I want to do, is that we are right now um, in a curve that we need to pass from industrial, let's say, lifestyle to the metaversial lifestyle. If you don't like the word metaversial, you can find another one. I don't care. But for me, it's not about to find the definition to the metaverse, but we need to define what we're going to do next in terms of evolve humanity to the next level. So everything is happening about relationships and expressions and experience. So those are the most important things. And in order to have all those things, we need sustainability. We need to build sustainable business. We need to build sustainable environment. We need to build sustainable societies. And sustainable, what that means? That means that an environment that is always we will provide things. That means that we give to the environment and the environment gives back to us. And that will continue. What means social sustainable? Means that we will feel safe, we will feel that we're always moving, we have a quality of life. And in order to do that, we need to let behind the physical limitations that we have. Because we build the society, we build the industrial society in the limitations that we have, the natural one, let's say, if we can say that. So if we understand the metaverse in that way, then we will see that the metaverse is not another tool, but it's an opportunity to build another reality that we can jump in there and to leave behind the physical, the fight that we need in order to have everything in physical way. We don't want. We don't care about it. I never understand, for example, when I'm going to my computer to buy a song legally, and they said, "Oh, it's not available in your location, in your
Yeah.
country." And I said, something that we have me as a definition of what the internet means, and those people that they create the internet in that way. So I believe that there is two ways. The one is that the metaverse is jumping in and they say, okay, let's build the metaverse. And the next day, there are all those people, the industrialists, they say, okay, let's take the metaverse to put it back in the business as always as we do it, to put the restrictions, to put the regulations, to put all those things. So what is changed in that way? Nothing. We
Nothing.
just
Yeah.
provide the same things with a different name and a different wrap-up. And that is foolish for the people. I mean, we fool the people around there. I know that people right now, they need a better way to express all those avatars, as you said, because it's our personality. When we build avatars, we build
Yeah.
different personalities of ourselves. You told it really good 2 minutes before, and that is what I want to do. I don't want to replicate with the metaverse the reality, the physical reality. I want to build a new reality that we can do things in a different way, and the people, they can express their creativity, they can express themselves in a different way without to have um, the need to excuse themselves on why they do it. And this is more fantastic. I mean, I can go. I was speaking with someone from New York. Actually, it was the wife of the president of IdeaGen, and I explained to her about what we do, and she told me, "Wow, that means that I, from New York, I can go shopping to a city with my cousin that she is in India." And I said, yes, this is exactly what we speak for. This is what you want. This is what we need to provide out there. So, and this is not happening right now. The metaverse as we know it right now, as it is provided right now, it's just another game, and the people doesn't understand it. And this is why the metaverse is going down, because none of the people that they want to build the metaverse are not so brave to make it happen.
Yes, I agree with that. See, even then, so if we take a step back and understand what is metaverse, to me, I've been doing AR VR since 2007. So when suddenly everybody started to talk about NFTs and metaverse and everything, me coming from a design background, I was like, what is this? Like these NFTs are some nice digital art, some pretty pictures, some photography work, but these are all pictures, right? And these metaverses these are all virtual worlds. But then suddenly, Facebook named itself to Meta, and everybody started talking about metaverse, and all companies wanted to engage with it, because that was a hype cycle. But I think the true definition of metaverse is something that there's no standard definition. Forget. true definition. There's no standard definition, right? Everybody's creating a definition out of their own imagination, so to say. So I'll tell you, there's this one person I had. Again, he was interviewing. He was doing some LinkedIn audio or video event a couple of years ago, and the guest was traditionally from the IT industry. The infrastructure in IT companies, and he called himself metaverse enthusiast. No, no. There was a very, very peculiar word. I said it a couple of days back also. Something to do with metaverse. A futurist or metaverse enthusiast and something like that. So these designations, people are trying to create for themselves to associate with it, right? But what you're saying is that metaverse, it's just simply virtual worlds with a different name. So how do you define metaverse in your dictionary? What is it what it is, like that you call it?
Okay, for me, the metaverse is a cultural shift. It's a revolution, as I said, from
Mm-hmm.
industrial revolution to metaversal revolution. It's an idea. It's not a tool. The AI, VR, and all those tools are the main elements that you need in order to build the metaverse. But if
Mm-hmm.
you have a purpose to build a new reality, call it metaverse, which means beyond the universe as we know it, that
Mm-hmm.
means this is my field of study, also the future of reality. So you need to understand the new reality as something new. So that means that uh, when you say, for example, that okay, right now, let's say a known metaverse, I don't want to say the name, that they have a place that you can buy fields and you can build your own store there. What that means, why to do that, why you want to replicate exactly what you're doing. And this is why the people, they say, okay, I have my own life, why do I need a second life doing the same things? When
Yes.
you read a book, even if it's fiction or non-fiction, you read it to move you forward. You don't need
Yeah.
it read it to tell you what to do, to tell you
Yes.
how is your life, because you see your life, it's this one. um,
Yes.
and and when you do things, when you do events, when you want to have an experience, you want to have something new, something that is not yours. This is why you go to the movies. You go to
Yeah.
the movies to be a pirate. You don't go to the movies to be a navy. This is why the protagonist in Pirate of Caribbeans, you know his name, he's a known actress, and you know everything about him. But if I
Yes.
ask all the audience that we have right now to tell us, without to search in the internet, the name of the Navy commander on this movie, they don't know even who is the actor. I mean, only the 1% for the audience, maybe they know that. And, and we go there to escape. I don't want to make the metaverse as an escaping room, but I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
make it as a as a as a new reality that you can understand what you don't have in this reality and you demand it actually. Because if you see what you do, and we did that test, um, we have our audience in Netizens is Generation Alpha mostly. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in Generation Alpha, we did a survey and we did a test, and we saw that until today, the people, they try to recreate themselves in that we call a digital twins.
Mm-hmm.
And but Generation Alpha doesn't want that. They build a digital avatar trying to create a physical twin. So they try to to make themselves look alike that like their avatar. We
Wow.
had this as a cosplay, the people in the movie, on the comics, that we try to make ourselves like the heroes. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
today is much more broader because based on technology, you have the ability to create your own world. You have the ability to create your own avatar. And the moment that Generation Alpha see that to do a physical twin is not possible, it's the moment that they understand the limitations between one world to another world, which is the metaverse world. And this is the metaverse, is our future. The metaverse is the place that we understand how limited we are in the physical world. And what that means? That means that makes us seek for immortality, seek for aging at the aging. That makes us seek for no segmentation, because in the metaverse you do have segmentation between female or male. You can be anything you
Yes.
want. And when you
Yes.
have the ability to become anything you want, you do it. Remember, because
Yes.
we can. The reason that
Yes.
we have those restrictions between women and men and pink and blue and all those things is because we didn't have the ability to do whatever we want. And this is created our society until now. And we put a moral thing on that just to validate without any purpose. So the metaverse for me is the freedom of the people, is a cultural shift, is the time that we have to build a new future based on inclusivity, diversity, and sustainability. And this is what netizens they do. This is why we named our company Netizens, because we don't speak to the citizens of industrial lifestyle, but we speak to the citizens of the networks, the people that they connected each other, giving value each other to the thousands and millions of networks around the world, the one world.
Wow, interesting. So I think that's a very, very good and a, how do I say it, a detailed definition of how metaverse looks for you. The way I understand it is, apart from the sustainability and the other aspects, that it is kind of open for all, and it gives everyone the opportunity to, so to say, be themselves, in a nutshell, express, what they want without obviously hinging on others' abilities to feel. But it gives you the ability to express yourself. It gives you the ability to do what you want and howsoever you like it, right? And but don't you think, like that's somewhere, like let's dig a little deeper here, is giving everybody trying to do everything. I mean, which essentially is what everybody likes to do, right? Without, as long as it doesn't hinges on the rights of others, it's acceptable, right? In terms of moral compass, how do you say it? That as long as, say, I am not telling you to wear what you want, what I want you to wear, and you're able to, and vice versa. So that gives a freedom. But so then we have all these regulations coming into the picture of understanding, and because this is built on blockchain. See, metaverse in itself are virtual worlds till the time you integrate blockchain and NFTs into it, right? Sometimes you have token gated entrances. You talked about Gen Alpha. So sometimes, say you're conducting a fashion show in a metaverse and you want that to be token gated. So you create an NFT drop to a lot of people, and the ones who purchased it, or probably it was free, who, got into that, right?
Yes.
So how do you see that this is going transitioning into businesses, right? Okay, so we understand the target audience that you're dealing with. We understand how metaverse should work. But how do you see that? And I also remember, you mentioning, I think in our earlier discussion, that metaverse will be the future, in the next 3-4 years or 2-3 years. So
Mhm.
how do you see that metaverse becoming the future of business? Because right now
Okay.
businesses are wide, and like there are enterprises, there are manufacturing, there's clothing units, there's fashion industry, there's apparel, there is hardware industry. So how do you see everybody coming together in this common part of metaverse?
Okay. So, okay, first of all, there is no, for me, something that we call it everybody come together. I mean, there are always people that they adopt first, always people that they see an opportunity where others they don't see that opportunity. And this is
Yes.
good because this is the variety. This is what makes us interesting as a species. And
Yeah.
and the second thing is that just let I will give you two examples for the business. So everybody that wants to make business in metaverse, pay attention on that. The metaverse is a time machine because think about the physical limitations, as we said. What physical limitation means? It's not means only genderless or borderless or whatever. But the last time that I traveling in Portugal, it took me literally 24 hours to move from my home to go to Portugal to a conference. And
Okay.
that because I had to take a flight from home at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go to the airport from my home. I had to leave from 2 o'clock in the morning. So I had 2 hours to
Mm-hmm.
go there. Sorry, 1 hour to go there, 1 hour to pass all the controls and everything, and then to
Mm-hmm.
take the plane to go to Lisbon, then to take the bus. Sorry, to take the plane to go to Munich, and then from Munich to Lisbon, and and in Munich I had 3 hours to waiting for the transfer, and buses, taxis, and everything. So all those vanish completely with the metaverse. And I was thinking, we are in 2023, we still traveling with planes, and we see that thing as something that is a very high-end way to do your life? No, of course not. This is an old-fashioned way of doing things. Of course, to meet in personal is something interesting, but if you do it in the metaverse, you don't lose anything. So you have a look and feel. This is the metaverse that we build as netizens, a reality, a look, a lifelike metaverse. And so this is time is minimized to zero. Think about how many jobs business you can do reducing the time, because a businessman had to take about three things: money, time, and space. So the second thing about the time is that how long a fashion designer, I will speak for fashion, but I'm super, I know that this has happened to everywhere. So everyone in other business, they can put this case study for their own field. So let's say a fashion designer, a student that is finished a fashion school and is ready to go out to the market, it needs more than 10 to 15 years to reach its own career, to become a creative director in a decent company, okay? But actually, only the 1% will reach that level, because the rest, it will be, the majority will be in other fields around, because they will give up, because it's really, really hard to go from intern to carry the coffees to stand all the bullshit that you will take in your head. We all know how how it work in corporate level, and then in the metaverse, what we do, for example, I will give you a case study that we do. We give the ability to anyone that knows about fashion to enter in Zepeto, and in 1 year, spending a small amount of money, literally small amount of money, less than the money that they share in study, comes out with a sustainable, profitable business with more than 300,000 followers and buyers, and with great education about what they happen in about their field, the fashion, with a lot of connections, a lot of experience, a lot of customers, and then everybody can decide from that level now what I'm gonna do. So it's completely the opposite. So this is what metaverse brings to you in a business. This is wow, time, reduce the time, eliminates everything. The second thing that metaverse brings is that eliminates all the intermediaries that you have between your business and the customers. So if you are a business that is not you are not in the middle, you don't provide service or whatever, then it's really a great opportunity for you. If you are an intermediary, then it's time to understand how the metaverse works in order to give a service about the metaverse. But if you see the metaverse as like another game, like avatars in the screen or whatever, then you lose that opportunity. It's this is our direction also, and I speak about tangible things. We already did it. We already tested. We already built, let's say, websites with a 3D dimension for people as an exhibition and showrooms, and we saw that people, they like to go there. And we test fractals, small pieces of the whole thing, in order to understand how to connect it after that, because this is our area right now.
Yeah.
So the business right now is, for me, if you want to do business, you have to think 3 years from now. You don't you If you think to how to make money in this year, completely you are out of business completely. You lost the opportunity. You need to say, in 3 years I'm going to deliver this, and I will test, and I will work my butt, and I will do a lot of expenses in order to do it. Don't focus on the investors. Real investors will help you. Financial managers or VCs or everything like that, they will never help you, because those people, they say, okay, I would like to put, beans and making it's like an alchemist. I would like to put beans and take gold. So forget those people. Okay, they waste your time. Real investors is those people that they put risk and they say, I believe in
Yeah.
you and what you want to do. They know the future. They know what they do, and they say, okay, let's go together. Those are the real investors. And if you need money, go for them. And believe me, the future is really amazed on what it will amaze us on what we will keep for us. In 2 to 3 years from now, you will see things that are unimaginable of what is going to be, and
Wow.
they will move us to the next level. They move us to the new reality. Actually, they will move us to understand that there is one word here, one word there, one word there, and there is no only the physical world that we can do business or relationships or anything else. It flips from the moment that we understand that the digital is not anymore here to help the physical, but maybe is the opposite, then that it flips.
Interesting. So all the business managers out there, that's how you get into metaverse. Have a long vision and experiment. These are the two things. And mind you that it is not very expensive also all the time to do these experiments. So you reach out to Constantino or me, and we are the ones who talk about it, and we are the ones who are building in it, right? So I mean, thanks for that detailed answer. Like it's actually amazes me. The kind of knowledge that you are giving out to people to understand things. I think the challenge that I feel is that about understanding and acceptance. So what happens is, you have these big brand managers from big brands, especially, or anybody who's doing a profitable company. They will try and act as if they know everything. Well, most of them. I can't say as a general statement for everyone, but yeah, some of them would do that. The challenge with that is, and then they would try and experiment. And anyway, there's a lot of information which is not correct available for people to but it comes in a shiny package, so people think that this must be the right thing. And then the experiments fail, and then there's no data validation around it, and then things don't really work. So what I'm trying to ask you is, maybe if you can share a few insights on how brands can actually enter into metaverse. What steps, actionable steps that they can take.
The first thing that they should do is to go outsource for the people like me and you, or companies that they already experimented and they have data to share with them. I mean,
Yeah.
if they try to, and also they need to educate their people that they put on this field. I mean, education is one thing, and goes back to regulations, as you said. If we don't have their education, we cannot we will fail to go to this environment because it's something new. So all the brand managers, all the marketing departments that they want to, they understand the value and they want to do really good job. They need to come to us and to understand where they go, who they need to involve, and they start a small experiment, a small project, not a big one, a small project, and then they have to gather insights. Think about the normal marketing out there. For example, what you do when somebody asks you, okay, I want to do a marketing campaign about that. You build a great campaign, a really amazing campaign. There is no marketeer in this world that they say this marketing campaign we will succeed. If that was there, if that was exist, then that means that we had the magic, let's say, how to map, because everybody is so possessed about how to do this, how to do that, and the Google is the first phrase that you put on Google is how to do that. We need to stop doing that because there is no map. There is no even a virtual map to go to drive you there. Um, it's about what you want to do, and based on our experience, we will avoid you to think about what you do in the wrong way, and we will guide you through experiments, small steps to do things. But you should not afraid to invest some money to learn, because this is the most important thing. If you don't fail, you're not in the right direction. But you need to fail small, in a small scaling steps, not once off. So this is what the brands needs to do. Louis Vuitton, for example, is a great example. Is a great example for that. They started before even we speak about the metaverse. They started
Mm-hmm.
with investing in a big change.
Mm-hmm.
They understand the market, that the market needs a change. So they didn't afraid to change something that was really succeed out there. The wrap up logo that they had as a wrap up to everything that they did, it was so lovable. The people want to buy it, and they said, okay, let's change it. Okay, so they changed it. They didn't afraid about that because they understand that the new reality, the new audience wants changes. So if you believe that you are safe doing the same business as always, you are
Yes.
running with 1,000 kilometers on a huge wall, and you will crash. That's for sure. And there is no time to take decisions. The now is already past. The next time that you have to think how to move forward is now. And uh, and this is what they should do. There is no map. It's about to explain to someone like me and you what you want to do. We will give you case studies. We will give you our experience model. But don't you think that you can do it alone? You have no idea about. I'm laughing when I see companies, agencies that they say we are Web3 marketeers, and when you go to the service, they said SEO, advertising. No,
Yeah,
it's not
I
that.
know.
It's to build your own space there. It's to
Yeah.
contact with a different people. The avatars behave in a different way. They coming from a different places around the world. It's not anymore demographic. It's not
Yes.
anymore where your location, your aging or whatever. That is not working anymore. So if you want to do, if you feel safe doing advertising in TV or doing some SEO or whatever in internet, you don't belong in the new era. You're going to the wall. So don't bother to do it. But if you want to do something really that has an impact and to create a loyal, huge fans, means customers in the metaverse or through the metaverse, you need to go outsource before you build your team inside.
Fantastic. I think that's where the challenge is. That's where the core challenge is, where traditional companies, even though very successful, have a problem in adopting and adapting to this new model, where they can think that somebody outside their organization, outside their walls, is more knowledgeable. Like the assumption is that we are the most knowledgeable, and that's the reason why we've been able to scale up, which is fantastic. You, because you were working in a different model then. Now the model of working, especially in Web3, in building products in on blockchain, in metaverse, in NFTs, and how all of them work together, it's a very, very intricate way. And just calling yourself, like you said, it's a very funny example, that people saying that they're Web3 marketeers, and but what they're talking about is SEO and all that stuff. I mean, those are very important aspects when you have to run
Of
your
course.
website, make it searchable and stuff like that. But Web3 is totally different. And uh, and and I think education will only start. People like you and me, and there's several others we know in our circle, who are trying to put that effort to educate people. The challenge is on the other side. I feel sometimes people are not open to the idea of being taught something new because of the legacy systems. They have that experience as a barrier. People say I have 15 years experience, 10 years experience, 12 years, whatever and whatnot, and that kind of sometimes creates that wall in front where they're not able to overcome in learning from somebody else. I mean, that's a challenge, right? I'm sure you are also dealing with that.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And this is, I give always the example of a shoemaker, where when
yeah,
you are a shoemaker and you create a shoe, and then a machine arrive that create the shoe.
yes,
So you don't
yes,
compete the machine actually. You compete the guy that he doesn't know how to create a shoe, but he knows how to work with the machine, how to make
Yes.
this machine work. So it's completely two different jobs. So even if a shoemaker has a great experience, he can not possible to work on this machine. But it's not, the one is not cancel the other. They have to work together. The shoemaker has to say to the person of the machine that, I like to make this kind of shoes because my audience is like that and like this. And the guy with the machine needs to say, okay, I will practice the machine in that, and I will teach you how to work with the machine in order to do the same thing. So this is a simple example of how the people they need to work when the machine is arrived. Because right now we have a machine that makes things differently.
Yes. Yeah, education, upskilling, so where, and same thing goes with AI. People saying that AI will take a lot of jobs and stuff like that. It may definitely happen, but what will happen at a bigger scale is it'll create more opportunities for people. What one person was, say 10 people were doing, now one person will be able to do. So the nine people can think, and create new businesses out of AI, right? Like, say for example, there's a company coming out with avatar creation. There's a company coming out with how to email faster. There's a company coming out for content marketing. So these are all different new companies. It's not the traditional companies which have suddenly moved to pivoted to AI. So I think that is again a mindset, right? And that's why you always have, say few people at the forefront of any new technology or innovation, and like what you said, early adopters in terms of audience, and most of them are the followers. Okay, this is working now, let's go ahead and do that. Because it takes courage to be at the front. It takes courage and
Yeah.
effort and perseverance to be at that forefront of any technological innovation, and then there's a lot of other things which go into it. But it's interesting. So, and I also, now I want to join this point with the point where you mentioned that we are moving from, say, citizens to netizens, right? Because everything is going to be
Yeah.
online, and we already had a good discussion how metaverse, how brands can enter metaverse, what can they do. So how do you see from a people perspective, like as individuals, right?
Yeah.
How are you seeing that? What do you mean when you say that we are going from citizens to netizens? Can you just expand on that?
Yeah. You know, the last 20 years, I always explain that in my keynote, in my presentation, starting by, that in the end of millennium, the, the apocalypse never happened. The world is not destroyed. Okay. Everybody can agree with that. We're still here. And there is a philosophical thinking about that and psychological thinking about that, but it's not for now. But what is for now is that the 20 years that pass from that day to today, it brings a very big changes, technological evolution from one point, and natural causes from the other side. So we have the climate change, we had the recession, which is social and economical problem. That was the first time that we realized that the system that we already serve and it serves us also is not stable. And then we had the pandemic, and the pandemic show us that, hey, we are not so um, ready for keeping the party moving because we are still human beings, we are still people, species in this jungle that we are vulnerable in. So we need something different. And
Yes.
then we had the technological evolution that came and first of all introduced us to the Web 2, which
Mm-hmm.
was the time that everybody came media.
Yeah.
And as a media, we understand that we didn't need to waiting at the 9 o'clock in the night in order to see the news of what happened, but we
Yeah.
just need to connect each other and learning everything with a very big speed, which is
Mm-hmm.
reduces time again, and everything is making valid. We don't waiting the things happen in the processes. The old processes are not working anymore. And that connects us to the whole world. And what we did, of course, we just waste all this magnificent tool miracle. We wasted just to share cute pets and cute babies through Instagram. And it's okay, but don't do it anymore. And the third thing in technological evolution was the blockchain.
Yes.
The blockchain was, sorry, the second one is the blockchain. Blockchain, whoever didn't receive the memo, blockchain is what it leads us to freedom. Because if Web2 make us media, blockchain can make us bank, which means responsible on one hand, but free on the other hand. So that is really, really a crucial thing for everyone is on fintech. And and the third one was the influencers. The influencers saw us the rise of creators, the rise of individuals.
Yeah.
And and you know something? I used to say that the pandemic didn't bring remote works. The laptop bring it. But somebody, which was the pandemic, in a brutal way, forced us to do what we should do by ourselves. But because of the industrial lifestyle that we have, we never see that evolution is coming. So everybody is terrifying right now about AI, that we lose our job, at the same time that we hate our job. And at the same time that we said that we need something, a tool to do our job better. And when it brings to us, we start complaining. So it was really crazy. There is no alignment between what is coming uh, to what we ask for. So we need always to be prepared of what is coming. And we are not learning from history, because in history, nothing as we have right now, it was normal. We confuse normality with the habits that we have. So that's, I cannot explain more or to expand more what I'm saying, but this
Yeah.
is just, let's say, the highlights of what that means. That brings us to the moment that humanity changed goals. Today, we don't seek for survival, but we seek for sustainability. We don't
Mm.
seek for creating materials, but we seek for quality of life, of inclusivity, of
Mm-hmm.
connection, and
Mm-hmm.
experience. We don't seek for national power, but we seek for one word, collaboration or co-creation. And we seek for purposeful life. So those goals of humanity cannot be served by industrial way of doing
Thing.
things.
Exactly. That's where I said, the mindset has to change, because what you were,
Exactly.
doing in the survival mode right now, but now it's more about sustainability. So the mindset has to change, and and also to some extent, instead of me first, it has to be we first. And when you
Mm-hmm.
say we, so whatever community you part of, whatever you belong, whatever
Yeah.
age you are at, so see, it's outside of you, right? But that mind
Yeah.
expansion is very important.
Yeah, exactly. And to serve the community, you need to be valuable yourself. So that means the
Yes.
we has inside an I. So if you transfer your ego from the part that has to do about yourself, but you turn in the ego in order to become a better person, a better valuable beacon inside of a network, then you will be on the network that you and if you help other people, so the network will thrive. And if the network thrives, you are safe. It's like a net. Okay, so this is what the people they are seeking for. And in order to do that, we need to jump from industrial lifestyle to, this is why I said from citizens to netizens. Why? Because how the industrial lifestyle is built, it's built because we built cities around the factory. The factory was the
Yes.
source of energy. But right now, the factory is not there. Actually, the factory is on our backpack. And
Yes.
that means that we don't need to build cities, brick and mortars, because we can travel everywhere we want, and we can live without borders, without genderless, without anything that keep us, let's say, in the city habit.
Yeah.
Who wants to keep us there? All those people that they have a business around
Built
that.
it.
But
Yes.
the problem is that we they cannot continue to have it. The party is over because we don't have time, because of the environmental problem, the climate change. Don't forget that is knocking out the door, and they say change. And if you don't change, I will bring you all the catastrophe in the world. You don't have any more party to do it. So if you change, you will continue to have a party, and you will have a place to the new reality. And this is what we have to working on. It's not about that we would like to change because it came to our mind. If
Yeah.
we don't change, if we don't become netizens, which means
Yeah.
the people, the individual valuable nodes on a huge
Mm-hmm.
networks around the world, without any more taking care about where is our home in brick and mortars or whatever, everywhere. And when we realize the freedom that we have on this way, that makes us that is the first step to human evolution. And I know that because the people will understand that better because of the remote work that they did in lockdown. I know a lot of people that they said, "Oh, I don't want to work remotely." And when they start work remotely, more than a year, they said, "Oh, I don't want to go back to my business in my office." And the truth is in between.
In
No,
between.
the
Yeah.
truth is that you have a choice. This is the right word. You have to build chances in order to have a lot of choices. It's not is not the right way or the wrong way. Somebody would like to go to the office, some other doesn't like it. There is no the right or wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
so the choice is what we build with the netizens and the metaverse.
Nice. So I agree with that. There is no one size fits all, solution to anything today. It is something, it is gradually growing. What's important is to again to have that mindset shift that you can, you have the ability and the choices in your power to make, but you will have to eventually go ahead and make those choices, right? If you're expecting
Exactly.
somebody else to make them for you, that's the traditional industrial system that you've been talking about. Somebody else making choices, and you're just following like herd and sheep. That has to change, right? But also from the environment point of view, a lot of awareness needs to bring in, right? That because I'm in a safe environment, like right now in my house or in my office, in a safe cocoon, but there are challenges which are glaring, at you, in your face. You're just choosing not to see them. So it could be a comfort challenge, it could be anything else. So, and so tying it up with all this with Web3, Metaverse, blockchain, NFTs, they are somewhere giving you that opportunity, like you said, say instead of doing 5 exhibitions in a year in some remote location, do one, because IRL is also very important to meet with people. But what happens is with the food, you're not doing it, you can do maybe 8 more online, and even still save some money and budget, and the experience of people joining those exhibitions, say, would be much easier. Say I used to go travel to US, Europe, South America, like across the globe for these exhibitions. And you said about 20 hours traveling, say within Europe, right? So the maximum flight that I have taken, say from door to the hotel, is about 44 or 45 hours. That was
Jesus.
me. Yes, I was traveling to Ecuador. So from India to Ecuador, Quito, there's no direct flight. So first I had to
Yeah.
do a transit somewhere, I think in Europe or Middle East, then go to US, from there to another hub in Middle America. I mean, so what I'm saying is that all that can be avoided to some extent. It cannot be taken away. It should not be taken away, but it can be avoided.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Of course. Of
Right,
course.
right,
Of course.
and
It's yeah. As you said, is about to invest on the experience that you give to your clients,
yeah.
not the ability. I mean, because someone could say that yes, but if I go to do it physical event, then the experience is much more. Doesn't mean that you cannot give an experience. And I will give you an example here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my conversation in 2018, before even all those things that we speak today are exist.
Mm-hmm.
So we speak about how do you do a live stream, fashion show. And I said um, there is no value to put a camera showing live streaming what you do in the physical event to the people that they are showing in the video, watching in the video. So the value is if you give them the opportunity to watch things that the physical people that they are there cannot. So even for the people that they are physical there, they will want to be in the other side, watching what they cannot see in there. And
Mm-hmm.
I explained that by saying, okay, you have a fashion show for a designer that makes a jungle show,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
can and try to recreate with the music and atmosphere. The model is moving with the swimwear with a leopard, but In a physical room, you see only that, and you are okay. But when you're watching from the other side, wearing your goggles, so that means that you are inside, and you see something that nobody else can see, is that the model has a chain on her head, holding an alligator moving out of the jungle. That is really, really amazing. And that is completely different. This is the extended reality. So if you give that to the people that are watching from other realities outside of the physical world, that
Mm-hmm.
makes it more valuable, because this is an experience that they cannot live it when they are there.
Absolutely. Oh, that's a fantastic point. So from a fashion point of view, you are fully immersed in fashion. And I remember, you did a exhibition, a physical exhibition recently in Portugal,
Yeah,
right? The one that you
yeah,
organized,
physically. Yeah.
right? So how was that experience of running a digital and a physical? And I also want to be mindful. So we are already above 1 hour. Do you have some more time? I mean, I can keep talking, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic. So can you share a little, so how did you manage that? Because digital as well as, like doing a physical as well as a digital exhibition at the same time. So how was that experience of managing it, running it? Can you share some lights on that?
It's really it was okay. It's something that I did in the past also, to organize fashion
Uh-huh.
shows and exhibitions with. That was a small one. The difference is that wasn't in a fashion show, a part of a fashion show, a part of a fashion event. It was a fashion event inside of a festival. So that means that the whole organization doesn't know everything. So I need to help them organize it in that way too. But they were really, really great guys. I mean, I had absolutely amazing team that they helped me to do that, and the designers were fantastic and helpful a lot. The good thing is that we had a huge screen, 8 meters of 4 by 4, behind of the stage, and that helped us also to create videos that enhance the reality that the people in the physical room they can see. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can see, for example, a model that is passing in front of you with a garment, then you can see three avatars wearing that in a different way. So you give always the experience that what you see, where you can wear it and how you can use it, with a different ways of aspect. But the thing is that we didn't have so much technology available to us. So it was
Mm-hmm.
a last moment, let's say, that I was invited. I had only 20 days to build all those things. So for me, it was really fantastic. And there was a lot of heat. So it was exhausting.
It is, and I think
Yeah.
earlier, and with again that the temperatures soaring everywhere across the world, it's the heat is bound to happen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Costantino, what's the core market that you're working in? What's the primary market? So it's you're primarily working so as a business now as Netizens, in Europe or US. What's your core market right now?
Um, Actually, I don't like to segment it in terms of countries. I
Okay.
never like that. I working with brands
Mm-hmm.
and individuals from wherever
Mm-hmm.
they come from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do any advertisement, so I always growing organic. So everything that you see in my media or the media of netizens and everything is only organic. So in
Mm-hmm.
that way, we are really, really good. We don't spend any dime to advertising, because we don't like to do that. It's our principles that we need to move. If we speak about netizens and the new reality, we have to move already there in order to
Yes.
see and test how everything is working.
Yeah.
And we're working with brands. We're working as a marketplace. Right? We have a lot of projects. The one project is our marketplace that is working like a hub to a virtual marketplaces or
Mm-hmm.
a games. So one of our main expertise is in Zepeto. Zepeto is a marketplace of 320 million avatars worldwide,
Mm-hmm.
200
Mm-hmm.
countries, and we have a really we have 3,500 designers outside of Zepeto and 150 plus influencers inside of Zepeto, so we can serve any kind of brand, any kind of individual
Mm-hmm.
to thrive there, and we already have a lot of case studies to help. We reached the point in 2022 that we
Mm-hmm.
sold 1,000 pieces per day. So that
Wow.
was really for a brand that was really amazing, and we keep that statistic. I mean, this is happening right now, and we do some experiments with virtual spaces,
Mm-hmm.
trying to give the voice to young designers instead of having a website, to have a 3D spaces world that they can exhibit and give the experience to people about how they look in a photo, in a video, and a 3D
Mm-hmm.
hologram inside of the space like a statue. And
Mm-hmm.
so the people, and we have a really, really good also insights there, because we saw that in the way that we build that, which is our approach is a storytelling approach.
Mm-hmm.
So a cinematic storytelling approach. So in that
Mm-hmm.
way, we measure that the average time that the people they spend on this kind of exhibitions is like 20 minutes, but
That's a lot.
our yeah, but not for us. That was the average. Not our average time is 67 minutes.
Ah,
Yeah. So that was
that's a
fantastic because
lot.
the people love to stay there because we have a storytelling and they like to repeat, to live that all the time. It's like you see a movie and you say, okay, I would like to do that. And that was fantastic. What we don't see, what we are testing right now is that how to bring more and more people there, and all days. I mean, to keep the pace, not only the launching time. So we're working on that right now. And
Mm-hmm.
if you can imagine that right now, the people that they are in those in the spatial, let's say, or the virtual worlds, is not
Mm-hmm.
so big. So um, having this in your mind, the time frame that we said, and the people that we had there, it was really huge. Um, and we're working right now. If you want a secret, here is the secret. We're working right now to build a platform, which is
Mm-hmm.
life-like platform, a holistic approach to the metaverse, so the people can do um, can working there, build their own business there, doing hanging around with their friends there without the need to do anything in the physical world in terms of helping their business. I mean, or and it's combining also physical situations, because and not only fashion but all the lifestyle business like food, cars, um, entertainment, music and movies, and fashion also.
Wow. Fantastic. So I think that's a big secret out, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big secret out. So I'm assuming, so the first movers to the metaverse were the fashion brands, right? I mean,
Mhm.
most of them. So how do you see them now that the hype is out and people are actually trying to build lot of businesses in metaverse or around metaverse with utility, which actually it provides value. Like you mentioned, you are helping a lot of young designers sell their produce or sell their designs or probably create them a business model for them, right? So how do you
Mhm.
see the fashion brands right now adapting to it at this
Um,
point in time? Now that the hype is not
yeah.
there.
The reason that the fashion industry was the first adapters is because what I said in the beginning of our conversation, that fashion is an industry that constantly changes, and those people are already pioneers. So everything new that is happening out there, they jump on it, and this is a good thing. So fashion is about a statement, an express of your life individually or as a team, or it's really, really creative. So everything that happens right now is really, really creative, and they use right now the AI tools in order to help them in the creativity, and that will create a lot of brands inside of the brands. And
Mm-hmm.
the next thing is that how to we're working on that also. We collaborated with a big community and a very known creator on that. I don't want to say the name right now, but the thing is that we working on creating from AI to 3D garments. The first thing for
Mm-hmm.
me is that the fashion industry need to understand that they serve avatars and no physical people. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that they have to understand. So that means that they have a different way of working. So keep what you're doing right now. Focus on your avatars. Okay? What your avatars needs. When you see an avatar, you don't see a physical person. Don't care about how to sell to the physical person behind the avatar. No. Because when I build my avatar, I would like to see my avatar how he's looking like. So
Yeah.
I'm always struggling to find out there good looking dresses. And you know what we learn about our work in 2 years right now and more in Zepeto and Roblox and all other spaces, we learned that the people, because the cost of buying a garment is not so big. You know, in Zepeto,
Mm-hmm.
you can buy with a 67 euro, you can buy the whole collection of Gucci, and
Okay.
that creates, you know, an end of what luxury means inside of Metaverse. But
Yes.
if you have this ability, you can change your garments daily. I have already 5 avatars in private avatars. I mean, not for netizens only. For netizens, we have more. For Zepeto, just to make experiments and because I like it, and I change all the time. Styles I'm looking for all the time. I do right now. I put the avatar out there, and then I say, okay, what is next? So that constantly change means that we need to produce it a lot. So if the avatar doesn't find, it's a fast fashion without to harm the
Yes.
environment. That is the most important. So if you dress the avatar, the people out there don't care about to dress themselves. And I have a lot of examples about that. So dress the avatars. This is, you have to focus on the avatars. How many avatars they can be there out there?
Wow.
Infinity.
Wow. Absolutely. As many as you can, want, or many as you can dress and are happy with. That's a fantastic way. And I think, when you don't have to buy physical garments, but doesn't that hamper the business side of it? Like eventually anybody who's doing any business, right? You and I are in services business right now, or the fashion brands, they're selling apparel to physical people. And because there's a cost difference between like a virtual dress of the same type and a physical dress, right? So say for example, the physical dress costs $100 and the one in virtual costs about $5, because it's just a virtual avatar they're trying to sell, or maybe $50 if it's like a phygital. So doesn't that impact the business side aspects of it? I mean, are companies ready to lower down their profits, for sustainability? Because when I'm not
Um,
buying clothes as an individual who has a lot of avatars and just dressing them, I'm happy with that. So the physical side and the financial aspect of it is getting impacted, right? How do you see that?
Actually, it's not true because, you know, when you do a change, always will be
Hmm.
a curve. You go down, but you don't go down
Fully.
to the fully
Yeah.
down. So you go
Yeah.
down and you go up. So what that means that they go down? The go down means first of all the investments that you have to do. The
Yeah.
second thing is that the avatars are not so plenty in order to
Hmm.
compensate what you had before in the business to do it right now. But this is the way that we're going. And
Uh-huh.
if you want to be a leader or to be
Uh-huh.
in the top brands, there you should
Uh-huh.
you're already late on starting doing things. The
Uh-huh.
second thing that is going down is that because there are no um, um, real metaverse platforms to create the environment as a prosper environment that the brands that they can work in there and build there and the community to come there. Everything right now is very complex, and
Hmm.
you need to pay a lot in order to go inside. So those are too difficult things, and those things that they don't allow to people to jump on the platforms and to say, okay, let's start it. And of course, there will be a curve down, but it will be up and more up. When we speak about infinity avatars, so we speak about a lot of people that they buy things. So if you buy something for that costs today 30 euros or 50 euros,
Mm-hmm.
you need to sell, let's say, 50 dresses inside in order. But this analogy, it will exist because you don't sell daily the 50 euros. There is no
Yes.
brand right now that says, yes, I sell 1,000 pieces
Yeah.
per day, but I can do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you do it like that, you have a profitable business. So the first thing is that you have to build a sustainable, profitable business inside and then to make it grow. This is the first thing. The second thing is that if we go to physical right now
Mm-hmm.
and we speak about sustainability, okay? Um, the brands, if we want to become real sustainable, and when we speak about physical brands to become real sustainable, we speak about
Mm-hmm.
no more than 60% of sustainability, because you
Wow.
have physical footprint. In any case, this is the 40%, you will never reach it. In the virtual world, we speak about 97% sustainable. Why? Because the 3% only is the energy. The all other things are digital. Nothing impact, nothing in the social also. You don't have underpaid employees, nothing. So let's go back to the physical reality of the garments. And um, if they change to the 60% fully sustainable, that means that the dress that you buy today for the 50 euro, they need to sell it to you 250 euro. Are you ready to pay for that? No,
Yeah. No.
because who is blocking the sustainability? The whole system that is creating like that. If I be sustainable, the customers will not pay for that. The customers need sustainability, but they are not ready to
To
pay for
pay.
that. This is why um, all the fast fashion brands are stores are fully daily and they are profitable and the first in the market. So what I'm saying here is that transfer your business in digital, do your hobby in physical. For me, the physical world should be a really heaven of having all the profits that you have from digital, money, everything, whatever you want. And on physical world, you will have a well-being, sustainable lifestyle, which means if you want to be a fashion designer with the physical garments, you don't need to run a race for the physical garments because you already have your business digital, but you build a small sustainable brand only for those they can afford it. And something else, if everyone goes to digital having business there, then they have the money to pay your physical garments.
Wow, interesting. So those are, some business advices which you don't get to hear very often. So I think thank you so much, Constantino, for these advices that
Thank
you've
you.
given, and I'm sure people are hearing in, and who will see in later. They're gonna thank you, right? Because this is a mindset shift that you're talking about, and the way you explained it, it's fantastic. And you coming from the fashion world, like deep rooted into the fashion world, right? So I think that could be the right point for us to wrap it up today. You and I will obviously continue our discussion. I just want a couple of things, like a rapid fire questions from you in terms of the future, right? So how are you
Mhm.
looking at the future of Web3 and Metaverse? With a positive, negative, neutral. What's your outlook of it?
Uh, Positive. I'm always seeing the future positive. I cannot see it
Yes.
dystopian. I don't like the dystopian futures. It's like we always see the future in dystopian way. Why?
Mm.
Because we're afraid to change. Because we fear to new things. This is why. And of course, it sells. But I'm very, very, very positive of the future. And I love to share that positivity to everyone that I meet and I connect. And this for me positive.
Fantastic. And one or two critical piece of advice for people, primarily students or freshers who want to get into Web3 space right now. So Web3 means NFT, blockchain, metaverse, and the likes.
Fantastic. I have a son who is 16 years old, and I do the
Mm-hmm.
same to him. So I will share this advice to everyone. Um, there are a lot of online courses out there outside of
Uh-huh.
your university, your school, or whatever, which
Uh-huh.
is the traditional way of learning things.
Uh-huh.
Connect with those online courses like Coursera or whatever, and start studying. The first time is not to be expert on something, but to understand how the environment is. So take a big scaling, let's say a broader idea. What is AI? What is VR? What is this? Learn about those things, um, and then write an essay about the future. So
Sure.
if you are, for example, 16 years old right now, that
Uh-huh.
means that your future will be in 10 years from now, which means that
Yeah.
you will go out there in the market normally with industrial standards. You will go be there in the market on 26, let's say, or 24 or something like that. So um, you have to build an essay about how the future in 10 years from now will be. So you will see what you want to learn today in order to be, um, uh, um, on
Ready.
top of
Yeah.
ready. So that means this is also a good study from Chiara Ferrani, who she started to become an influencer before even people in Italy knows about Instagram. It's a broader thing. And then when the Milan Fashion Week, Dolce Gabbana asked for influencers from Italy, the people in the Milan Fashion Week didn't know about what means influencer. So they made an investigation, the whole Italy, they conduct a list, and Chiara Ferragni was on top with 30,000 already people. So she had the invitation, and then from that point, everything gets started to glow. So be ready there. Be the guy that they will seek in 10 years from now, not today. Don't study things that they apply today. Study things for the future. Build your essay. Do the question: what is the future of job? What is the future of business? And today, no need to become 18 years old in order to start your own business. You can. The next Coco Chanel, Kathy Hackle said that the next Coco Chanel will be a young girl in 12 years old, and that was the question that we had in back my days in corporate in 2010, by saying it was one question in a presentation that says, remind me why we need 30,000 euro to install a software, and 6 months to install a software in a laptop of a secretary, at the time that my niece that is 12 years old can buy it from
Mm-hmm.
12 euros from MediaMarkt and do the job in 20 seconds.
Wow. Interesting. I think that's a very, very valid point, to end this. And I think that's a very good advice to a lot of people. And that's something that I can ask my daughter as well. Though she's a little younger than your son. But yes, that's a good advice. And, but fantastic, Costantino. It was lovely to have you here. And
Thank
yeah,
you very much. It was my honor. My honor.
it was great discussion, So I will just take you a little backstage and I'll just say bye to my audience and then I'll meet you back.
Okay.
Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much. All right, everybody. I think you all had a good discussion there. I mean, I have definitely had. It was a very, very good, insightful discussion with Costantino. And there are a couple of things I want to tell my audience. One is that we are coming back with the next season of Metaverse Marathon. With the planning is going underway, and the dates should be announced, say in about a week, 10 days time, hopefully. And yeah, look forward to have you here. If you want to join as a Metaverse project, you want to showcase there, you want to partner in as for advertise your brand, you want to partner it as a partner or a sponsor it, reach out to me individually. And for next week, we're going to have some few again, a panel discussion with a few interesting guests and talk a lot around litigation, probably in Web3 and law. Yeah, more on that later. Thank you very much, and have a great day and have a great weekend. Bye bye.